I'd like everyone in here today who is graduating to do something for me. Take just one breath, close your eyes, and feel it. You are here. For those who are watching from their kitchen table in Sacramento, from a military base in North Carolina, from a hospital break room in Tampa, from a tractor pickup truck in Nebraska with a laptop propped up on the dash, you are here too. Same ceremony, same degree, same moment. I want to talk to you about that moment for a minute, because I don't think many outside of this room and who are in today understand what you actually did. Like Tammy said, most of you did not do this the easy way. For many, there was no residential life experience. No 4 years of being 20 and figuring it out while your parents wrote the check. For some of you, yes, and thank you for that. But for most of you, this degree got earned at 5 a.m. before the kids woke up. This degree was earned after 11 p.m., after your shift ended. Or, as one graduate told me, in a parking lot outside a job site, because that was the only place they could get Wi-Fi before the midnight deadline for their DQ was due, which I'm sure most of you can relate. Some of you wrote papers while in deployment. Some of you wrote papers while in a chemo chair. Some of you wrote them after putting a parent to bed who used to put you to bed. I know this because your faculty and your advisors know this. I know this because every year I meet a graduate or two who told me that they almost couldn't make it. And the only reason they pushed through was because of a person in their life. And those people in their lives who refused to let them quit. To that person today, to those people today, wherever they may be, the spouse, the parent, the child, the friend, the supervisor who covered a shift for you so you can do your work, and the battle buddy who said, ignore, override, and keep working the problem. You need that degree. Thank you. And graduates, I would encourage all of us to take a moment and give those people in our lives who got us here today a resounding round of applause. Now, I want to tell you what the data says about you, because I think you need to hear it from someone who has spent the better part of a decade watching this story unfold. You are part of almost 1,300 graduates strong this year. You represent every state in this great nation. Roughly 1/8 of you served in uniform. And 6 of you are here today with multiple degrees as you continue to further your education. Now here's the part that most people outside of our ecosystem don't fully grasp. When people hear Unity Environmental University, they assume they know where you're going. They picture a forest. They picture a kayak. They picture you in a wetsuit somewhere working the problem. And yes, some of you are doing exactly that. And this planet is better for it. Wildlife conservation, animal programs, and marine biology are 3 of our largest programs. And these graduates are walking straight into the agencies, the labs, the field stations that this country depends on. But that is not the whole story. And we need to remember that. Not even close. Unity graduating class is also working at Intel. They are working at PricewaterhouseCoopers. They're working at Esri, at Lonza Biologics. They're working right here in Maine at Jackson Labs and LL Bean, at Langen Engineering. They're also working at the Mayo Clinic. And I could go on and on and on. That is what a graduate at Unity Environmental University is doing. They're everywhere, making sure that every company, every organization strives for a better tomorrow. Now, I want to be very direct about what those names actually mean, because I do not want anyone in this room to misunderstand me. Unity graduates have always been in every industry. And we have a few alums today who prove that. For 60 years, our alums have quietly walked out of these institutions into corner offices, federal agencies, biotech labs, engineering firms, school boards, family firms, started their own business, military leadership, and Fortune 500 sustainability teams. That part has never been new. It has always been in our DNA. But here's what's changed. Because of you, we are now doing it at scale. Each and every one of you now is finally, the pattern is being visible from the outside. Employers see it. Recruiters see it. Industry sees it. This country is beginning to see it. The story did not change. The scale changed. And once we crossed that certain threshold of Unity Environmental University graduates, that perception will finally become a reality, that a Unity grad is a valuable grad. That is the world in which you are walking into. That is the degree that you are earning. The labor market is finally figured out what your predecessors proved a long time ago. That environmental literacy is not a niche. It is infrastructure. Every serious organization in America, in the globe, is going to need someone in the room who actually understands carbon, water, climate, animal systems, culture, food, hospitality, ecotourism, and the list goes on. They need somebody in the room. They need you who understands the science and how this damn planet works. You tripped me up. You opened your future by coming to Unity. And here's something I want you to hear from me directly. You changed this place, not the other way around. 60 years ago, a small group of people in central Maine decided that the natural world deserved its own college, deserved its own university. They built it on faith. They built it on grit. And for decades, this institution was carried by the people who chose it when very few people were choosing schools like these. Then you showed up. The working adult, the veteran, the parent, the career changer, the 35-year-old who said, "This year I am going to do this." The first-generation graduate whose parents never saw the inside of a college. The student in rural Idaho, in inner-city Atlanta, in a small town in Tennessee, who needed an institution that would meet them where they actually are, where they actually live. We supported our students who came to us where and how they needed it the most. Now, we will keep evolving to support you where you are. And we will continue to evolve to meet the next generation of alums exactly where they are. The DNA of this place will not change. Our resolve to support you will not change. But the door keeps getting wider And that is the promise. And you are the exemplar of why a Unity Environmental University, Unity College degree matters. Because our job is to end ignorance through education. So when you walk across the stage today, and for those of you at home who will turn your tassels because you couldn't be with us, you are not just collecting a credential, you are closing a loop that started long before you ever applied. You are opening one that will outlast us all. Now I want to say one more thing and then I'll get out of your way. I can't lie. You are graduating in a hard moment. I'm not going to sugarcoat that. Our faculty taught you better than that, and you can smell bullshit a mile away. The headlines are loud. Partisan politics around you are even louder. And the temptation when you're 24 or 34 or 44 or 54 or 64 and you have just spent years getting this degree, ooh, the world is shouting at you louder and louder about this climate change thing and the green economy not being real. The temptation is to either burn out or worse, check out. Do neither. Own this moment. Because here's what I've learned. Cynicism is cheap. It is the cheapest thing on the market. Anybody can be cynical. It costs nothing. It produces nothing. The hard thing, the rare thing, the you thing, the thing that your faculty spent years teaching you, preparing you for, is to be clear-eyed about how bad the problem is. And still wake up in the morning and go to work. That is not optimism. That is not naivete. That is just what professionals do. That is what a Unity College graduate does. The world does not need you to be heroes anymore. The world needs you to be the competent, prepared person in the room who knows what the data says when the loud people are shouting it and making it up. That has always been the job. And I know you are ready for it. So to every graduate in this room, watching from across the world, to the parent who drove 12 hours to get here, and to the parent currently watching this commencement ceremony on her cell phone, to the spouse who held this whole thing together, to the child wondering when mom or dad is going to be on stage, this is that moment. This is your moment. This is the moment a parent finally rests because the bet they made on you paid off. This is the moment a child sees it is possible because they watched it happen on the kitchen table. This is the moment a service member becomes a scientist, an entrepreneur, a leader in a field this country needs more than ever. This is the moment a first-generation graduate quietly rewrites history and redefines what is possible for everyone who shares their last name. This is the moment, 30 years from now, when somebody asks, how did the work get done? The answer is going to be simple. A few thousand of us decided to simply do it, and we just kept showing up. Thank you, class of 2026. Congratulations.